17,000 Australian-born citizens walked out in 2024 alone. Total departures hit 263,000, a 13% surge. Nearly 600,000 Australians now live overseas permanently. The exodus accelerates while politicians insist everything is fine. Sydney's median house costs $1.4 million. Melbourne rent takes 25% of median income. Rental markets hit critically unaffordable across every capital. Wages lag behind inflation. Bread costs double UK prices. Australians work longer hours, commute further, watch savings evaporate. Young doctors flee rural hospitals. Tech engineers escape to Silicon Valley. Families relocate to Manchester. Retirees cash out for Thai beaches. The brain drain cuts across every demographic. Number 10 will make you reconsider everything you thought you knew. Number 2 will shock you beyond belief. We cover stories mainstream media refuses to touch. While politicians claim everything is fine, we show the real data. Your support helps us continue. Please join our community. Number 10. Regional Australia collapses, Adelaide and Tasmania professionals vanish. Adelaide and Tasmania experienced sharp professional outflows throughout 2024, particularly among healthcare workers, engineers, and educators. Both regions suffer limited career advancement alongside costs approaching capital city levels without matching salaries. Adelaide professionals face median house prices of $676,000 while earning 20 to 30% below Sydney equivalents. Skilled migration pathways make relocating to Canada or New Zealand simpler than transferring interstate, draining talent continuously. Tasmania faces worse conditions. Aging population creates healthcare shortages compounding annually, yet young doctors refuse rural postings offering zero professional development alongside crushing isolation. Housing costs climbed 19% in Hobart between 2021 and 2024, hitting $750,000 median while regional wages stagnated. Regional brain drain accelerates as services deteriorate. Fewer doctors means longer wait times, driving more departures, reducing tax revenue, cutting public services. Adelaide loses engineers to Perth mining. Tasmania hemorrhages nurses to New Zealand hospitals offering immediate permanent residency plus higher pay. Government programs attempting reversal fail spectacularly against structural disadvantages. Number 9. Canberra's professional class flees despite high salaries. Canberra boasts highest median incomes yet persistent emigration. Median rents of $600 weekly take just 23% of household income, technically most affordable. Yet public servants, analysts, and contractors abandon the city steadily. Career ceiling limitations drive departures. Government employment dominates, creating narrow pathways. Professionals climb rapidly to mid-level before stalling against political barriers. Private sector opportunities remain scarce. Isolation breeds frustration, cultural vibrancy pales against Sydney or Melbourne. International opportunities beckon loudest. Policy experts transfer to London think tanks. Economists join Washington institutions. Data scientists relocate to Singapore. These moves offer intellectual stimulation impossible within government-focused ecosystems plus global exposure beyond Australia's limited influence. Number 8. Perth mining boom ends, workers exodus West Australia. Western Australia's mining contraction triggered widespread departures. The boom offering $150,000 salaries and 4-on-2-off rosters collapsed as commodity prices normalized. Fly-in fly-out workers found themselves redundant. Perth experienced steepest rental affordability decline, 13% in 12 months. Median prices climbed to $670,000 while mining salaries contracted. Support industries collapsed. CBD emptied. Suburban shopping centers struggled. Young families particularly fled. Perth's isolation creates additional costs, $400-600 flights east. Children face limited university options. International migration proved irresistible. Canadian mining operations recruit Australians offering similar rosters with higher pay. Middle Eastern construction absorbs tradespeople at premium rates. Number 7. Brisbane service sector collapses, cost of living crushes workers. Brisbane's transformation from affordable capital to expensive metropolis drove service workers out. Median rents surged to $643 weekly, consuming 29% of income, up from 22% 5 years prior. Affordability declined 24% since 2020. Service workers, hospitality, retail, administration, found themselves priced out. Full-time hospitality worker earning $50,000 faces impossible choices, half income on rent or 2-hour commutes. Rental crisis intensified as vacancy rates crashed below 2%. Landlords demanded 6 weeks advance plus bond. Families faced automatic rejection. International opportunities beckon. Queensland hospitality workers transfer to London where wages double overnight. Retail staff relocate to Dubai for tax-free income. Administration workers flee to Singapore. Brisbane's affordability advantage evaporated completely. Number 6. Rural doctor shortage crisis. Medical professionals abandon regional Australia. Rural healthcare exodus devastates Australia. Nearly 4,000 doctors and nurses departed in 2024 alone. Rural hospitals operate chronically understaffed, forcing remaining physicians into 100-hour weeks guaranteeing burnout. Starting doctors in Australia earn $80,000 annually. Same doctor in United States commands $160,000 US, 240,000 Australian dollars, straight from residency. Australian doctors face crushing $80,000 to $100,000 HECS debts. American colleagues graduate debt-free from military programs. Regional postings offer zero development. Young doctors stagnate clinically, unable to access specialist training or advanced equipment. Rural isolation means missing conferences essential for advancement. 3 years regional equals career suicide. International opportunities shine brighter. New Zealand offers immediate permanent residency plus 20% higher salaries. Canadian provinces provide signing bonuses and guaranteed specialist training. UK NHS trusts recruit aggressively. Middle Eastern hospitals pay tax-free salaries double Australian rates. Number 5. Technology workers flee to Silicon Valley. Australian tech sector hemorrhages talent. Technology sector faces catastrophic talent drain. Senior software engineers in Sydney earn $120,000 to $150,000 AUD while identical San Francisco roles command $200,000 to $300,000 USD base plus stock options worth hundreds of thousands more. Google software engineers receive total compensation exceeding $500,000 US. Australian startups offer $130,000 Australian dollars with minimal equity. Even Atlassian finds retaining senior talent impossible once American recruiters make contact. Career ceiling difference compounds salary gaps. Australia's limited ecosystem offers fewer advancement opportunities. Senior engineers hit walls around $180,000 to $200,000. American trajectories extend to $400,000 plus individual contributor roles. Venture capital creates additional incentives. American startups raise $20 to $50 million Series A routinely. Australian companies struggle securing $2 to $5 million seed funding. Silicon Valley celebrates risk-taking. Australian culture prizes stability. Engineers seeking cutting-edge challenges find opportunities limited. Mainstream media ignores this brain drain. We track what is really happening. If this helps you, please join our community. Your support keeps us going. Number 4. Young families abandon Australia for United Kingdom. Childcare costs devastate households. Young Australian families fled to United Kingdom throughout 2024, driven by childcare costs consuming 40 to 50% of budgets. Australian families face $150 to $200 daily per child, $600-800 weekly full-time. Families with 2 children spend $30,000 to $40,000 annually on childcare alone. United Kingdom families access 15 to 30 hours free childcare weekly for children aged 3 and 4. Australian family with 2 children spends $35,000 annually while UK equivalents pay $0. This differential alone justifies relocation. Housing compounds burdens. Sydney families require $1.4 million for median houses while earning $100,000 household incomes. Same families relocate to Manchester purchasing larger homes for £300,000, 580,000 Australian dollars. Total monthly costs drop 30 to 40% overnight. Educational pathways favor UK. Australian public schools vary wildly, forcing expensive private education costing $20,000 to $40,000 annually per child. UK state schools maintain higher minimum standards. University fees capped at £9,250 annually versus Australian $30,000 plus. Lifetime educational savings reach hundreds of thousands of dollars. Number 3. Nursing exodus to New Zealand. Trans-Tasman migration devastates Australian healthcare. Nursing shortage intensified throughout 2024 as nurses abandoned Australia for New Zealand. Trans-Tasman Mutual Recognition Act enables immediate practice rights. Nurses resign Friday, fly Monday, begin work Tuesday in Auckland. Australian nurses earn median $75,000 to $85,000 annually working chronic overtime covering staffing gaps. New Zealand hospitals offer $90,000 to $100,000 NZD, roughly $84,000 to $93,000 AUD, plus immediate permanent residency pathways and superior staffing ratios eliminating mandatory overtime. Workforce conditions drive nurses faster than salary. Australian hospitals operate with patient-to-nurse ratios breaching safe standards. Emergency departments assign single nurses to 8 or 10 patients. Medical wards run 12-hour shifts understaffed by 30 to 40% mandatory double shifts until exhaustion forces resignation. New Zealand maintains better ratios, safer practices. Nurses handle 4 to 6 patients maximum. Overtime remains voluntary. Professional development receives time and funding. Each departing nurse increases workload for remaining staff, accelerating further departures. Australian hospitals lose 10 to 15 nurses monthly, replacing them with international graduates who themselves depart within 2 years. Number 2. Shock, Sydney and Melbourne housing crisis forces mass exodus, families choose homelessness over staying. The housing catastrophe in Sydney and Melbourne reached levels so severe that thousands of families chose international relocation over remaining in cities they can no longer afford. This represents the most shocking development in Australian migration history. Economic powerhouses holding 60% of national GDP actively expelling residents through impossible costs. Sydney's median house price of $1.4 million requires household incomes exceeding $250,000 for mortgage approval. City's median household income sits at $116,000, a gap so enormous that first homebuyers face permanent rental tenure regardless of success. Middle-class families find themselves locked out forever while rents consume 50 to 60% of take-home pay. Melbourne experienced steeper collapse. Rental prices surged 39% between March 2021 and December 2023, fastest growth in history. Median weekly rent of $570 takes 25% of income. Vacancy rates crashed to 1.5 to 2.0%. Families attend inspections with 50 applicants, offering 6 months rent advance just for consideration. Both cities reached critically unaffordable classifications. Single hospitality workers require $130,000 annual income to afford average one-bedroom apartments. Teachers, nurses, retail workers, essential providers, find themselves priced out completely. Suburbs once affordable now command rents requiring $90,000 to $100,000 household minimum. Human impact proves devastating. Families with children live in cars. Professional couples move back with parents into overcrowded houses. Skilled workers accept redundancy and relocate to Portugal, Spain, Mexico where superior housing costs 1/3. The exodus includes engineers, accountants, teachers, nurses, exactly the workers cities need. Government responses failed spectacularly. Housing targets remain decades behind demand. Planning approvals take years. Infrastructure lags population growth. First home buyer grants prove useless when prices rise faster than savings accumulate. International relocation offers immediate relief. Sydney families spending $3,000 monthly for cramped 2-bedroom relocates to Valencia renting spacious 3-bedroom with balcony for €1,200, $1,950 Australian dollars. Melbourne couple paying $2,800 weekly moves to Lisbon securing renovated apartment with ocean views for €1,500, $2,440 Australian dollars. The shock lies in permanence. Previous emigration saw young Australians working overseas temporarily before returning. Current departures involve entire families selling properties, cashing superannuation, establishing permanent lives abroad. These emigrants return for Christmas visits but maintain zero intention of resettling in cities offering only financial stress. Sydney and Melbourne lose productive, tax-paying residents forever, a demographic disaster with consequences extending decades. Number 1. The retirement exodus. Australian retirees permanently abandon the country they built. The most devastating emigration trend involves Australian retirees fleeing the country they spent lifetimes building. These are the generation who paid 40 years of taxes, raised children, built businesses, and contributed to communities. Now, in retirement, they discover Australia offers inferior quality compared to Southeast Asian alternatives, and they depart permanently. Australian aged pensioners receive $1,144.40 fortnightly for singles, $29,754 annually, or $1,725.20 combined for couples, $44,855 annual. This pension barely covers basic expenses in Australian cities where rents consume $24,000 to $36,000 annually before food, utilities, or healthcare. Retirees face impossible choices: skip meals to afford medications, forgo heating during winter, or abandon the country entirely. Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Portugal offer transformative alternatives. Australian retirees relocate to Chiang Mai, renting spacious two-bedroom condos for $400 to $500 monthly, less than 1 week's Sydney rent. Daily costs drop to $30 to $40 including restaurant meals, transportation, entertainment. Healthcare proves superior and cheaper. Full medical checkups cost $50, dental work $30 to $80, prescription medications 1/10 Australian equivalents. Quality of life improvements extend beyond finances. Southeast Asian cities offer walkable neighborhoods with vibrant street life, accessible fresh markets, extensive public transportation. Retirees abandon car dependency plaguing Australian suburbs. Social isolation disappears within expatriate communities. Weather enables year-round outdoor activity instead of Australian extremes confining elderly indoors months annually. Healthcare accessibility proves superior. Thai hospitals provide English-speaking staff, modern facilities, immediate appointments without months-long Australian waiting lists. Comprehensive health insurance costs $2,000 to $3,000 annually versus Australian private cover exceeding $5,000 to $8,000. Medical tourism enables procedures at 20% of Australian costs. Hip replacements, cataract surgery, dental implants all cost less than Australian out-of-pocket expenses even with insurance. The departures prove permanent. Retirees sell Australian properties, transfer superannuation funds, establish overseas residences with zero intention of returning. They visit grandchildren annually but maintain lives abroad where pension income enables comfortable existence impossible in Australia. The exodus removes experienced volunteers, community leaders, institutional knowledge from Australian society. Cultural capital developed over decades vanishes overnight. Government policy actively encourages departure. Pension portability allows retirees collecting payments while living overseas indefinitely. Taxation rules favor international residents for superannuation access. Medicare coverage proves useless abroad but private international insurance costs less anyway. Every policy incentive aligns toward permanent emigration rather than retention. The tragedy extends beyond individual departures. These retirees represent post-war generation that rebuilt Australia, established Medicare, constructed infrastructure, created prosperity current workers inherit. Their departure signals the ultimate rejection. Australia fails to provide dignified retirement for citizens who sacrificed to build the nation. When builders flee their creation, the foundation crumbles. The exodus will accelerate. Housing costs ensure younger Australians save zero retirement funds while servicing mortgages into their 70s. Current workers face retirement poverty far worse than current pensioners endure. Coming decades will see millions fleeing for Southeast Asian retirement havens, draining the country of elders who traditionally stabilize communities and transfer wisdom across generations. Australia faces a choice: reform fundamentally to retain citizens across all life stages, or accept status as temporary workplace where people earn money before escaping to countries offering actual quality. Current trajectories guarantee the latter. The retirement exodus represents Australia's greatest shame, a wealthy nation that abandons its elderly, forcing them into permanent exile to survive their final years with dignity. Behind every statistic sits a family torn apart. We document what mainstream media refuses to acknowledge. If you found this valuable, please join our community. Your support helps us continue.